everyone? Welcome back. What's good? What's cracking? Happy Wednesday, all that great stuff. Welcome to the last sort of session in this series, the rewind that is accompanying my podcast, The Root Words Season 1. And so, yeah, this is like our wrap up. And I'm really excited about today's guest because we have a ton of connections, some of which that we realized even today. So it's going to be really dope to talk through confidence today, talking about being a confident educator. And if you are unfamiliar with Root Words, this is the podcast for Revolve Learning. It is a short form podcast, 15 minutes or less, real quick, because, we don't have any of the time. And this is where I kind of bridge the gap between all of the science and the practices and all the research. And I just get down to the heart of what matters at Revolve Learning. We believe all learning revolves around relationships. And so this is where we just talk about how do you build meaningful relationships with kids. So I take a one-word concept like legacy, like responsibility, like generosity, like we're talking about today, and being confident. Last week we talked about being courageous, and we just unpack what does it mean as an educator to be those things, and then put that out into the world and build it and empower it within your students. Every episode comes with the Questions to Connections guide that helps you write through that process, helps you reflect with some questions, and then gives you the questions to ask kids to open up that dialogue, whether that's your own kids or your students, doesn't matter, young people, but just have that conversation. If you don't have the conversation, then you can't say they know about it. And that is all a part of your legacy as a person, is what you leave behind to the younger generation to carry the torch. Okay, so my intention with this live here is to really connect the dots between all of the sessions so far, and they really do. Like, I was really intentional about the words that I chose for that season 1, because it was, first of all, it's gonna be my biggest bang coming out the gate, so you had to pick some bangers for your words, right? And so all of those words intentionally tied together. Okay, so I talked about an educator in the first episode, legacy, knowing what they deserve. Like, you can't know what you're going to leave behind unless you know what you deserve right now, right? Only then, once you know you deserve, can you be generous and give outwardly towards your learning community. Then and only then, okay? Can you be generous, giving towards the community, empowering the genius, recognizing the genius all around you, right? Then and only then can you do that. Then leading into responsibility, once you're giving, you start feeling a deep responsibility to move the needle forward, right? To move the needle forward, to empower and enlighten the gifts and find anywhere you can to leverage those around you. Last week, we talked about being courageous with D from Black Girls Teach. And that's when everything comes together, right? In our efforts, we need all of those things to be working together in order for us to actually see active change in our schools, in our communities, in our careers, and beyond. Okay? So everyone that we come into contact, remember I say it's like a prism. These are prisms that you get to see all of the possibilities for your life through, based on who you align yourself and who you connect yourself with, side to side, horizontally, right? That's when we go far. That's when we go vertical. Is when we're horizontal, it's tight. Our horizontal is tight. Okay, so I'm excited to talk about confidence, because confidence is when we walk our walk and we talk our talk. Okay, but we need to build that up. Like, even confidence is a skill. Even confidence is a skill. All of these things are skills to be built. Nobody comes and just has it in the bag. Everybody needs to be built. Okay, so like I've done with previous sessions in this series, I've just gone back to the podcast real quick before I bring on the guest, just to talk about a couple of the things that I mentioned. And the first one was really interesting because I think we think about confidence as like this, like, dun, 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 like, I'm confident and I'm just like larger than life, like, hear my roar type of confidence. And I was at a conference and I heard a panelist speak about confidence being the inner work. Like, it's a more quiet confidence that helps you get to that point where you can outwardly be, as confident as you need to be in the spaces that you occupy. But that really hit me because I was thinking about students and how often we sort of, curate those moments of quiet confidence within them, because I think that's the point where we make the strongest relationship bonds with other people, is when we can talk about what we care about and what we want to be confident in. In those talks, we are revealing sometimes insecurities while we're talking about what we want to be confident in. We're revealing insecurities. And that also happens with our students. So how do we build that quiet confidence to where they feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel like they trust you enough in order to reveal insecurities? Because insecurities are natural too. Insecurities are a natural happening. The more they see adults that waver, like we swing back and forth, like we're confident about some things, life happens, we get a couple blows, and it takes us back a couple notches. We don't always have to be seen as the supers in front of kids. Showing them that we have vulnerable moments where we're working on something, we're trying to get better at something. We had a setback, okay? We had a setback, and this is how we triumph through it, is we build ourselves back up. That helps them see that, oh, that's a part of the norm. I'm not always going to be the biggest, baddest on the block. I'm actually going to have moments, and people that I admire are going through it, getting through it, and that's their prism. That's their prism. They see that through you, but we have to share it in order for them to see it. What else comes with that is mental health and self-care. If they see us taking care of ourselves, if they see us navigating those moments and realizing, well, guess what? I don't have the tools. I don't have the tools in my toolkit. I need to actually reach out for help. Guess what? I'm in therapy. You know what I mean? Let's start with, that's the stigma of not needing help, of us figuring it out on our own, that some magazine article is just going to fix everything. Not true. When the tools aren't in your toolkit, seek out expertise that has the tools to get you what you need. And the faster you do that, the more whole you will become as you tackle some of those issues. But kids need to see that. Okay. It says confidence is the appreciation of one's gifts and abilities. That goes with the confidence that I said, that quiet confidence, the moments that you can cultivate with students. What are their gifts? What are their abilities? How often do they have the opportunity to dream and to goal set around what they believe is their gifts and abilities? Which takes me to my second point, which might be a unpopular opinion. I'm not with learning styles, y'all. I'm not with it. The only way I'm with learning styles is if you are lesson planning and you are taking the lens of making sure your lesson planning is multidimensional, multifaceted, and that it includes the dimensions of learning styles, kinesthetic, visual, audio, like all of that, right? I'm with it. That's dope. Now, when you use learning styles to place limiting beliefs on students based on what you see, based on the small context and lane that you see of that student for that 1 year, not dope. Not dope. So if kids hear like, oh, you know, Jasmine just needs a model and then she'll get it. Or Malcolm, you know, if he don't hear it through a song, he's not going to get it. Okay. Consider the fact that students you might notice that students learn in a particular way. And they start, okay, when I draw a diagram, I see that some light bulbs go off for this student. Fine to notice these things, but there is no way that you could have tried all the domains to be able to tell a student that they learn best in a particular way. That's up to them. That's up to them. And in order for them to make that determination that, oh, I learn best visually. I am a visual learner. I am statements are for people who have lived a certain level of experience, right? And that can speak to what they want and what they desire, which means they had to have lived and tried out a bunch of the other options, right? Okay, so here I have a couple questions for you for your lens. How are we building confident kids if they hear in their most developmental years that they only learn best visually, by hearing, by body movement. Okay? What if they just haven't come across an audio or a visual or a kinesthetic style that struck a chord and resonated with them? What if they just haven't found that yet? What if the sounds that they hear, the visuals that they see are void of cultural significance to them? They don't see it, right? So there's no way that we could say that students are a particular learning style based on what we provide only. So provide it all, y'all. Provide it all. Allow moments of exploration to occur. That's when genius can just build. It can build, but not in the way that you think it should. It's in the way that they feel they are genius, because they are exposed to so many different styles. Okay? That's my thing about learning styles. Take it or leave it, but that's it. You know, I'm very keen on limiting beliefs being placed on kids, and I want them to have the full spectrum of their abilities. I want them to be exposed to the full spectrum of their abilities before they start honing in on one. And that honestly goes back to the brain science. That goes back to brain science, right? In terms of their neurons and their connections that they're making, like, we want to expose them to as much as possible. So the strength, when they really start tapping into what they truly love, what they're really drawn into, those neurological pathways will be strengthened so much more, because they know what they shouldn't spend their time on, what they don't want. But in order to get to that place, we have to expose to a plethora of different options. So provide options, y'all. Okay, so here's my bottom line. And this is something that is one of my biggest questions as an educator to think about when we think about the language that we use with students. I talk a lot about speaking over students, you know, positivity, proactive language with students. Ask yourself this: after you have spoken to a child, do I want this child to repeat this to themselves in their most challenging moments? So after you speak to a child, replay that and then put on the lens: would I want this child to repeat this to themselves in their most challenging moments? That will give you a lens and a lane to think like, wow, am I putting limiting beliefs? Am I pigeonholing this child into this one area? Am I encouraging? Am I truly encouraging? Am I truly there for this student? Am I building trust with this student by what I just said? It's real deep. It's real deep. But just recognizing the words you speak to and around children, it has the power to become what they tell themselves, what their inner voice becomes. Okay? All right. So those are my tidbits. I talked about so much more on the podcast. You can go back and check those episodes out. It's on all major platforms. Go back and check those out, because season 2 about to come out, y'all. I'm super excited. Okay. So I'm about to welcome our guest up here, and Lauren BK. Look, all the sauce. All the sauce is what she has. Style unmatched, energy unmatched. As you know, as someone from New York would be, right? She does not disappoint. So I'm going to go ahead and accept your request, and then we'll do her introduction. But we was already talking earlier, so lit. Hey!
That was an intro. Come on.
That's not the intro.
That was an intro.
That was a little mini
You did
intro.
the New York, you did the hype, you did, you brought all of that. Thank you so much.
You know, I traveled to New York I went to Seton Hall, so like, you know, we go to escape to New York all the time. So
I come here and I moved here to escape.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy? We have so many. Look, I'm gonna get into all the little mini connections.
Okay.
But yeah. So listen, I told you I had a surprise, because we're just getting to know each other, right?
Yeah.
And so we haven't had a lot of time to, like, you know, chop it up and like learn. And so some of my previous guests, I've had that opportunity to kind of learn about them, you know, through the stratosphere, this world here, right? And so integrity is my number one core value. Okay.
Come on.
And I'm not going to get up here and just fake the funk like I know everything about you when I still need to learn everything about you and want to learn everything about you, right?
Impressive.
But that's not where we are right now. And so I reached out to someone that knows you.
Okay.
Because I want an authentic introduction of who you are. And if you've watched some of the other lives I've done in this series, I'm all about building us up as Black women.
Yes.
Shout out to my girl Jody for doing this on her live. And I was like, I want to do this for any guest that comes on for me, because we're not always comfortable sitting in our flowers.
Wow.
We're not comfortable sitting in our flowers, right? We're just like, ugh. But we should be comfortable. We should get comfortable sitting in our flowers. So I reached out to Ryan. You know Ryan Milligram, right?
Yes, I do.
I was like, give me some things. Give me some things about Lauren BK. And so I'm going to read what he wrote to you. Just to, pass you your flowers right quick before we hop into this.
Okay.
All right. Ryan shared this with me about you. He said, my second year in education, I was able to be a teammate of Lauren at Northeast Academy. I always found myself gravitating towards her and listening in for gems. She would drop gems on instruction and systems, everything to be successful. She is someone you can easily vibe with and grow to love because she speaks and acts with her heart. One of the special things about her is her mentality. She is about getting results, and I love it. She is a special human being that makes a positive impact on every person she meets. So soak that in, sis. Soak it in. That's you right there. That's the impact that you make on those around you.
It's true.
You know?
It is true. Oh, thank you. That was good.
Yeah. Give them all the hearts.
That was good.
I wish we had hearts. I do wish we had hearts on this side of the live so we can
That's true. That's true. Because it's so funny too, because it was things that you were saying that when it was just you, I was able to, and now I can't join in. I feel a little limited.
Right, exactly.
It's true.
Yes, and I saw your heart, sis. I saw your heart too.
Thank you. That was so. First of all, that speaks about like who you are. To like, let me get a little background information, right? And I think sometimes we're like apprehensive about that because we don't want to, right? But you're like, nah, tell me about this. Tell me about this woman. I want to know who she is. And we have been messaging and collect, you know what I mean? Back and forth. Oh, I love your post. Oh, right. And we're literally teachers. When I look at you, even though you have your own business and you're not necessarily in the classroom, your impact is so grand in the classroom because you are literally leading PDs, right? So for you to do your background check, you did a background check, right? That really touched my heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It wasn't that kind of background check though, because I already knew the quality was there. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was there. I just
worked so hard, you know.
Wasn't it hard?
We work hard.
It should not be hard for us to sit in. We need to just get used to it.
That's true.
We need to pull up and get used to it.
Got it.
Okay. So do you remember before we hop into this, because I think it all ties into it, because I think we both are connected in the one way I shared earlier today. So I shared with her that, you know, the Facebook memory, sometimes you don't want to see all of that, all those memories, but sometimes like, wow, okay. And my Facebook memory today,
2018.
March 2nd, 2018, I posted on Facebook my tutoring business. My tutoring business. And I put it out there into the world, right? And I was like, that was my side hustle. That was my gig to like start building some sort of income so I can like do this full time. And to just see like the full spectrum, and then to have you as my guest today that is really connected to building students up in that particular way, but also in one of the most authentic ways that they can based on how like unique and special your model is. Which I want to share all about that, because that is a part of building confidence, right? Like you don't see people that look like you, that speak like you, that are geniuses, then you know what I mean? It's hard to build confidence in who you are and how kids, you know, come up. So that was just like, I was blown. I see little connections like that all the time.
Good.
Like, right?
Yes.
Right? So, yeah. So I was just like, I was so touched by that. So like, I asked the same question. I've been asking the question and I've been connecting the two. And I love that I connect the two. And I'm going to keep on connecting the two because they should be aligned. I've been asking people, you know, how do you serve and what do you want to be remembered for as a combined question. So what do you think about that? How do you feel you serve?
So I truly want to like make impact in like community, period. Like I always say, man, if I wasn't teaching, I just want to be in the neighborhood and have all the neighborhood kids come to my house. I want to feed them and I want to teach them. I really feel like kids learn from their parents. Yes. They learn from their teachers. Yes. But I remember learning how to ride a bike by my next door neighbor. Like my father didn't teach me. My mother didn't teach me. My next door neighbor was a bike rider. He was the expert. Right. So he took me to Prospect Park in Brooklyn, took me to the grass. Right. So I don't mess up my legs. Yeah. And taught me how to ride my bike because he was the expert, right? Yeah. So I truly just want to be, and it sounds like cliche, but the plug to let people know, like, if you don't know, I will find a way to make sure you know. So I truly want to be the resource, right? So that's mainly the main reason why I started my business too, because I knew what it did for me. I knew what it did for kids. I knew what it did for parents, right? And I know that, like, it's not just about like getting additional income. Does that help? Absolutely. I done took some trips. I done did some things, right? But I also see the confidence in the kids. The parents feel even confident in their kids' ability, in their children's ability, right? So it's really just full circle.
Oh, so I'm about to go in on the parent piece. I didn't even have that in my notes, y'all. We about to go in on the parents piece when she hops back in. Because we often don't realize how parents have lack of trust in the schools and the teachers based on their own lived experience and context that they went through in their schooling journeys. Okay, here she go. I don't know, y'all saw me. I was went in when she said that. There you go.
Okay. You just was saying something. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. But go ahead.
No. I said no, because you were speaking about seeing the confidence built in the students, but also confidence being built in the parents. And I like lit up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to finish your thought? Because I do want to talk about.
So basically, like, that's what I want. I want to be resourceful. All my life, I've been pretty much resourceful, right? Like, I feel like even if somebody was applying for something, we were applying for the same thing, or I want to apply for a job and my friend, we're going to both apply because what's for me is for me and what's for you is for you.
Come on.
When I'm not going to block anybody's blessings because I don't want to put you on. I think that's catty, but that's truly how I want to be remembered as someone that truly connects all the dots. Like I want to hear somebody say something, say, you know what? I know someone that does X, Y, and Z. Tap in. You know? So
I love that. I love that idea of being the plug. I think that resonates so much with like students as well. Like just that language, right, is very relatable. Like we don't have to call ourselves anything else but what we want. We don't have to change how we want to approach it, but what we want.
It's going so in this chat. Okay? People have jobs, spouses, houses because of BK. Ultimate connector. Ultimate connector. The plug. That's it.
But get this. You're the plug because you are a lifelong learner.
Yeah, that's true.
You value information. You value understanding and becoming an expert and having expertise and becoming an expert in all of those things. Because I know for sure you are not going to send anyone and make that connection unless you have fully vetted out and understand the process in which you are sending people to. And that is integrity. That is great care for the community. So I don't know if anybody...
I'm always like, I literally say that all the time to myself. Like, I treat kids the way I want people to treat my kids. I literally want people to show up the way they show up for their kids for other people's children.
That's right.
You're supposed to do that.
That's right. And like we said, the parents, right? Let's loop back over to that. Treating parents like I would want to be treated as a parent.
Yeah.
Full exposure, full transparency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I wish somebody would hide these details about my child to me. Like, I would want all of it. So let me give that to parents, right?
And most of the time we see a different side of their kid anyway. right? I think that's another thing, right? Like, we're all adaptive. We're in different environments, right? One of my favorite sayings is tap, time and place. Kids know tap from young. Adults know tap, right? We change it up, right? So the way I see your child amongst their peers is different the way you see your child in the household, right? The way I see your child one-on-one might be different than the way I see your child in a whole group class setting, right? So I get to inform the parent on things and observations that I'm noticing, right? Because that's my gift. And you get to share parts of your child that I might not know about. That's the true partnership. That's the true confidence, to know that we can connect with each other and pull your child along, right? Get your child to the next level, because we have a relationship, right? You get to see them in your eyes, and I get to see them in mine, and we get to truly talk about it. How can we better serve your child? That's we have the same goal, but we can't have the same goal and not discuss it. We can't have the same goal and not talk about what's working and what's not working.
That's right. That's right. And that is so true. And I was talking on a live, I've done so many of these in the last couple of weeks. I don't even know which one it was, but I don't know which one it was, but it connects, because I said, if you're in this education space and you don't have the mindset that you're a barrier breaker, you don't need to be here. If you don't have the mindset that you are a barrier breaker first, you don't need to be here. And what I mean by that is that we're able to humble ourselves and recognize in students and in their parents and in our colleagues that we are only our lived experience to date. It means I'm coming to the table with all my experiences, all my relationships, and all my environments that I've lived in my life to the table. So that means I can approach you with empathy, meaning like, okay, your relationship with school, and maybe in our communities, this school building might be one that's highly triggering to you.
Because you went there. You might have went there.
That's what I'm saying.
And you had those negative experiences. Or take it back. It's a pandemic, and all parents are figuring out what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what's too much, right? Everyone is adjusting, right? So we all get to give ourselves grace, but give each other grace in it. We have to. You can't even go to your mom about, how should I raise my child right now? Because nobody knows. It's no formula how to parent, period. There's no, all these books, right? However, everyone's trying to figure it out. So we get to give each other grace in the moment. But I realize a lot of times parents' educational experiences are traumatizing.
Exactly.
Or something happened to them and their child came home and said something happened to them and they connected, and now it's negative.
That's right.
And it started off negative, but a parent is not even taking into consideration their child's experience, because they're still festering their own experience.
Exactly.
So we get to create a new experience, educational experience for that child and that parent.
That part. A new educational experience for the child and the parents, right? And that's what I mean. You're a barrier breaker, right? You're creating a new pathway.
I'm writing that down.
You're creating a new pathway for that entire family. And then if you have how impactful is that? That family and all other 25, whatever. I hope not more than 25, Lord. Families in your classroom.
Yeah.
I want educators to just dream of that impact. If you consider yourself to be a barrier breaker, that means when parents come at you, think about, how can I break down this barrier to get us on the same side?
Because when we're on the same side, magic happens. It truly happens.
Right? And not only does magic happen, it becomes damn fun to teach.
Yes. Yes. And when you do call that parent for something good or bad, they know your heart. They know you're not about to just call just to be calling.
Come on.
You're not about to call just to be in your feelings. You're really calling to inform them on something great, right? Or, this is a hiccup. Parents knew if I reach out, something ain't right. Because Joscelyn's not going to just reach out to me for nonsense. Because I know as a parent, you have enough to do.
That's right.
Right? But it's all relationship, right? And I think that becomes, I know as a novice teacher, being fresh in the gate, like you fresh coming in, you second guess yourself a lot, right? So sometimes the parents could be intimidating, especially in like a high needs community, right? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, could be the Brooklyn. I didn't have too many of those issues, but I have had maybe 2 or 3 run-ups But once parents sat down with me, and even if I could talk, I'll say all the time, I talk very passionate, I'm loud, yes, I'm all these things. However, I wouldn't break a grape. So anyone who knows me knows that my intentions are always good. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, it's up to me to make this right. It's really not on the parent. It's really up to me to make it right. And a child will know, like, oh yeah, my mother got your number. Oh yeah, she could call you for whatever, right? They see it, they know it. Just like just like your coworkers in the building. They know the teachers that you cling with. They know the energy that you put out. They know the positive. They know you're not, if you gossiping or not gossiping. Ooh. They know if you're there for the real deal or you just trying to show up to get your check. Believe it or not, some teachers do. They want summers off too. Oh. But there's also people who are truly in it to win it, and the kids can feel it, sense it, see it, breathe it. They ain't coming to me talking about no other teacher. Because I'm not about to entertain you. No. Right? So I get to set that playing field and set that foundation and that energy out for the parent, for myself, for the school. I've been in so many schools, I don't even want to tell you the number. But any school I've been in, I've had a crew. And my crew, positive, love. What we doing? What we trying to do? Culture building, staff building. Like, what are we trying to do to make sure that this environment is as peaceful as we want it to be, right? Because that's when true learning happens. Oh, right. So many connections, Lord. I don't know where to start. Where's my heart button? Stop. You almost made me run around my kitchen table. You're like, where did Joscelyn go? She'll be back. I told you this is our red table talk. This is our red table talk. You're right. Okay, let me backtrack. Correct, right? And that peace, being at peace and having peaceful environment, states of calm, is how the brain and body needs to be. It has to be that way in order to be open to learning. It has to be open to learning. But if you are creating an environment that is closing students off, actually scientifically, physically in their brains and bodies, and you're expecting them to learn, you're expecting them to perform in some way, you're off the mark. You're off the mark. But you got to reflect, though. I got to check my attitude at the door a lot. No, seriously, check your attitude at the door. I know. Sit in the car, pray before you walk in. Do whatever you need to do to get your mind right. Or we're adults, right? Sometimes the day before could have been crazy. Yeah. And the next day it's like, I don't even want to see that kid like that. I don't want to see it. That's real. But actually, the next day I get to refresh and reprogram myself. That's right. Because if I show up positive and loving and caring, that child's going to be like, oh, I can't carry yesterday into today. Today's a new day. Right, exactly. I'm done. You still on that? I'm done. That's exactly what I was about to say. It was just like, oh no, what? What happened yesterday? It's over. But what it is that, and my mom just said something in the chat, what it is a lot of kids live in a lot of chaos. Right? And they see people hold on to things for so long. Ooh. So when you switch that for them, they don't even know how to, don't even know how to react. That's right. Yesterday we were beefing, but today you loving on me. It's like, baby, yesterday was yesterday. I want you to learn. I want you to get it. That's right. That's so powerful. And I wouldn't be an adult if I raised my voice. I shouldn't have raised my voice. That's that ownership too, right? Where it's like, oh, I made a mistake and I get to make a mistake and I'm sorry about that. It won't happen again, right? That's like true maturity and growth. And because as a teacher, it's like you're in this leadership role. It's like we're acting. We're playing this role. However, there's breakdowns in the role playing. Yeah. And you get to say like, yo, I had a breakdown and I apologize to the whole class, whatever you need to do and move on. That's powerful. Yeah. A lot of parents do that too. Like, oh, I shouldn't have said it to you that way. My bad. As teachers, we get to own that and do that for our students as well. Yes, that is so true. It is always the adult's responsibility to de-escalate a situation. Yes. It is always the adult's responsibility because you think we have years. We ain't gonna get into how many years. Okay? Of figuring out what works for us. And shoot, a lot of us still figuring it out in terms of what de-escalates us, what brings us into a state of calm when we are triggered in our brains and bodies. Mm-hmm. We're still figuring it out, right? But we have years on students in figuring it out. So it's our responsibility to de-escalate and face students in challenging moments as skills and mindsets and opportunities to be built in those moments. It changes the game. It is. It changes the game. You approach students as like, oh, no, their brain and body is in a state based on something. I hope we have the relationship to where I would
be tuned in to figuring out what those things are that would get a certain student to have those challenges, right? That's that super backtrack. But now that we're here we are. It's my responsibility to maintain trust in this moment. It's my responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put that on the kid. And you know what it sounds like when they put it on the kids? I've done it too back in the day. I didn't know this science back then. I wish I did. You know what I mean? What they do is like, don't you know we're supposed to have lunch bunch in the moment? The kids hyped up, screaming, cussing, whatever. And the teacher just is hyped, trying to remind the student of all the stuff that they're supposed to be doing.
And it's blocked. And it's blocked.
But done. It's done.
You're blocked.
It's done. We're supposed to have lunch bunch. They don't care about your lunch bunch in that moment. They're in blackout, trigger mode, fight, flight, freeze, right?
Yep. Come on.
Right? Yep. You have to wait until they calm down in order to re-engage and teach, right? Not send them out, not shut them down, not hold that grudge. When they calm down, that's when you teach.
Yeah.
That's when you show them that love. It might happen the next day. It might happen at the end of the day, whatever it is, but you reconnect. You reconnect them, right? That's our job.
It is. But what it is our jobs are so stressful sometimes that it's easy for us to get in our minds about what we got to do. I got to make sure this happens. These results got to come. Oh, they put something else on my plate. Oh, they put something else on my plate. A lot of times, I always say for me, it's never been the kids. For me. Yeah. To me, it's always adults for me. These are going to be kids. Really, realistically speaking, I just wrote down because I remember you said something like a child's brain isn't developed till like 20 something, like 20. It's like your brain ain't developed, your body ain't developed, you're just not developed.
Right.
And I'm going in on you about something, right, that you might have been going through or something I might have been going through, and I'm putting pressure on because I want you to like master something in the moment, and it's like you're not ready yet, so you're not ready. I need to give you your time to process.
That's right.
So much of this is just mental. So much of teaching, I always say, it is content, yes, but it's culture, it's character, it's so many other components. It's interpersonal skills. Like, do I even know this kid?
That's right.
Like, you know, so you can't even address these things if you don't know your students. But you first have to know yourself.
That's right. That's right.
You got to know your triggers. You got to know, I know for me, I'm really quick with the baby and like I'll say king, queen. Even if I'm firm, I'm starting firm or something, I'll change the pronoun at the end just to soften it up, right? To know, so kids know, like, sweetheart, I expect you to get back to it, all right, King? And I'll keep moving. I'll move it on real fast with it, right? I'm not harboring over it. I'm not giving you 2-3 minutes because for me, every minute counts, right?
Yes.
However, I'm going to address it. I put a boo, a baby, a king, a queen on the end, right? And then it doesn't seem like an attack. It's like, I want you to get it. I want you to get it. And I'm not about to go back and forth with you right now. Thank you, King. Move on.
That's a tip.
Seriously. It's the way we say it. It's how we say it. It's the proximity. Like all these things matter. But I feel like the more you do this, and I tell people all the time, like people like, you're a master teacher, all this stuff, all this. I don't consider myself a master teacher because I don't think you can master teaching. I don't think you can master teaching. Every year is some stuff. Every year is some ish. Every year I'm learning like, this is getting crazy. Every learning I have to adjust.
That's right.
Yeah, do I pull out like tools and things, right, that I used before? However, when I started teaching in 2008 compared to now, it's totally different kids.
That's right.
Right. So I got to adjust. I got to continue to learn. I got to tap into my network when I feel like, man. So that's how I know that education is still for me, because I make sure that I try to reflect as much as possible. Breaks, I'm really breaking. I'm taking a vacation.
When we break.
Breaking. You know what I mean?
R.I.P. Birdie back. Come on now.
When I'm breaking. And the learning cycle, that's why I hate that master teacher thing. I just hate it with a passion, because you cannot master this. I literally told a second year teacher the other day, like, she's like, doesn't it get easier? And I said, no. She was like, what do you mean? I said, well, no year will be as hard as your first year.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We just got virtual learning. We just got thrown into virtual learning.
That's right.
Like, you could have been teaching 35 years and virtual learning it rocked you. It rocked me.
To the core.
So it's like every time you think you master it, God shows you that you have not. You have not mastered this. I have to keep learning. I have to keep tapping into people. It's imperative. It's imperative.
That's a whole gem. A whole word. A whole word.
They own truth and beliefs and take a deep.
I know, like, we both was like, we both.
I'm looking at the chat because the chat is like, let me tell you, sometimes you being alive, it's like you go in there, you feeling it, cool. Then you look at the chat, it's like, what the people saying? What the people saying?
Right. Right. I'm new to the IG live world. I'm like,
oh.
I can't read. I'm about to run around this table. We out here preaching, talking.
Yadi said, come on, we never arrive.
Never.
Come on, we never.
You don't being complacent, right? That is being stagnant. That's still water. Johnny and I we talk about water a lot. Like being a part of like moving, flowing rivers, that's health, right?
Wow.
That's health and that's wealth for our mindsets, right? Being in community with each other. All the lives that I've been doing and like getting into having these conversations like we're having tonight, like this is wealth. That's wealth for our spirits, right? For other people to share. But once you feel like you've made it, you go off into silo by yourself. You on that still stagnant water, not moving. We know about the health of that type of water. It's no ecosystem there. Like, so this is why it's so important to be in community. And you talked about it earlier about having a crew. I had a
gotta have your people.
You know, and you are totally correct that students pick up on the teachers who are in community for the right reasons, which is
they're gonna come to you and say, I'm trying to start a step team. Can you? I'm trying to you know, they're gonna come to you because they know you're gonna advocate for them.
Yes.
They know you're gonna advocate for them. I had a team teach. I taught science, 6th grade science team teacher, and last name is Anthony. She taught social across the hall for me. It was to the point where it was like, well, I know what goes on in here goes on in there. That's how it wasn't like you're gonna show up crazy in my grade or my classroom and crazy. No, we were one.
Yeah.
We were one. We talked together. Even though we didn't teach the same subjects, it was like we teaching the same kids. So we get to make sure that our systems and our things and our incentives and everything is on one accord. That we're using the same language, right? That the kids can see it, hear it, feel it, right? It's important. Kids are not listen. Teachers that like gossip with children and who dating who and da da da. I got too many friends. I say that all the time. I have enough friends. I don't need you to be my friend. I want you to like me? Yes, because you learn from people you like, right?
Yeah.
You have it, right? But like I'm not getting in that conversation with you. Some teachers feel like when they're new to it, that's the only way to get them to like you. Well, really, just being yourself and be committed to the work is more than enough.
Come on,
right? Like I can't.
Self.
It's not. We're not the same. We're not the same.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me connect a couple dots here because this is just so good, so good. It's one of my favorites here. When you talked about like the connection you had with the teacher across the hall and how it was like that synergy, right? That like go back and forth. It makes me pose this question, right? I'm constantly posing questions. How confident are you in your community? How confident are you? Do you have that level of confidence with the person teaching across the hall, with your grade level team, right? Because all of that are wild factors for how confident you are in your space, in your growth, in your learning. Because for me, I ended up teaching next door to some awesome, this one of them right here, Candace, C-3, right next door to her, right? She was actually my coach when I came to the school. Then she went back into the classroom for a co-teaching model, and I ended up teaching right next door to them after that point.
Got it. Okay.
I was in my planning periods in their room.
What they doing?
I'm in the back of the room, just eating it up, just soaking it all in, right? Yeah. Because I was so confident, and I had a grade level before them. So my students were going to feed into them.
Okay.
I would go into there and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I run back to my class. Y'all, you know what we got in store for y'all next year? And I would use that as my engagement for my kids.
I love it.
You know, but I couldn't do that if I wasn't confident in the community that I had built in the school. And that also goes it goes positive, and it's also when I was feeling at my lowest. When I felt like I wasn't getting stuff right, when I felt like I had learning to do, I still had the community there to help me find the resources, to help me find the pity, to push me into the principal's office and say, go ask for that.
Yes.
look over this email that I'm about to send to the principal real quick. Does this sound about right?
Come on.
Yes, it does. It's those moments that help build confidence. I mean, you don't have it when you're first teaching, but be steadfast focused on finding that community and having that be the standard of the building.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think we always think like PDs have to happen externally, right? But it literally can happen internally.
That's right.
Like we literally can do walkthroughs in the building. Man,
That's
this
right.
teacher's really, really good at classroom management. Boom. This teacher is really, really awesome, right? At like de-escalating situations.
That's
this
right.
Teacher, right? Like every teacher, and that's the thing, it's like you have to know your niche, and the leadership has to know who's good at what. And you play on their strengths, because those are the people that should be modeling. Those are the people that should be the face of whatever strategy that is.
That's right.
You don't always have to pay thousands of dollars and go out the building. You also could go downstairs, because a lot of schools have primary downstairs or middle school upstairs. You don't have to stay on your floor.
That's right. I mean? That's
it's like
right.
it's there. It's there. And I also think that's a level of like I'm trying to make sure I find the right word. It's like I know a lot. I also know there's more I don't know that I don't even know. Right? So like, do I know teaching? Yes. Is there more for me to learn? Yes. So can I tap into something else? Yes. It doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make me inferior. It doesn't make this person better than me. To me, it's just smart. Like I'm tapping into what you're good at.
Right.
That's it. Why would I tap into something that you're not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just not the compare game. I think a lot of teachers feel like this is a seasoned teacher. This teacher knows everything. And even that seasoned teacher could learn some things.
That's
but
right.
They have to still humble themselves to know, like, I get to tap into other things, and it doesn't belittle my skill set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No.
If anything, it sharpens it.
That is so true. That's so true. And I feel like in our last few minutes here, that is something we can really tap into, because you said you got to find your niche and figure out what you're really, really good at. And as that happens, and this connects back to our theme tonight of being confident in that ability. And I know it's a whole lot of factors that go in whether or not you feel safe enough with your school leadership in order to expose yourself for these things. Like, it is true. If you have expertise and you feel confident in what you do, go ask for those observations. Go ask to lead that PD. All of that is only going to build on your repertoire as an educator. Build the community. The community is not coming to you.
Come on.
It's not just going to come
to you. You create it.
That's right. That's right. And so if you notice it's something that you're working on, go and ask that teacher if they mind if you sit in there during your planning period, because you really enjoy what they do. That's also how you build the confidence of others.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't even know anybody was peeping how I was over here doing my Socratic seminars. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, word got out. It's
out.
I come see
in here. Yep. I just see back here with my laptop.
Come on. I just want to be in here with the greatness. That's all.
Yeah.
And if you approach other educators with that energy, they're about it. You know what I mean? You're not trying to be out there gotcha. It's not that comparison thing. It's just, look, I'm trying to learn from you. Even managing up with your leaders. That's why I say, especially if you have been teaching for a long time, you're a veteran teacher. Oftentimes you're the last to get observations and authentic feedback based on what you're doing. Ask for it.
Yeah.
But
when I get it, please don't give me no fluff. I feel like even when they do, it's like you trying to find something. What's happening now is that a lot of leaders don't have the expertise of teaching, right? And they're utilizing a rubric. I mean, we're talking, right? And they're utilizing a rubric or some type of criteria that they don't match or meet, right? And then you're trying to find a way to make the shoe fit, and it does not, right? So if it was a solid lesson, just say it was a solid lesson. Don't try to like find some other stuff just to say that you did your job, right? And the best principal I've ever had is the president of Bishop McNamara right now. His name is John Barnhart. And one thing about him was that like he always says, I hired great people because great people will be great teachers. And I trust that you're going to teach. My job is to make sure then I'm giving you everything you need to be a successful teacher.
Come on.
I was like,
I need to go back. You know, McNamara is my alma mater.
It's so funny.
I'm a McNamara alumni. I need to go back.
Listen, he is. And when he said that, I was like, man, he's like, why? He called me Why. He always say, why? I know you teaching. I just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You need anything from me? We had one-on-ones every month. And the first question is, how are you doing? Because you're going to get results. If you're going to do the work, right, you're going to get results. But I want to make sure you're good. And that uplifted my confidence. That let me know my leader trusts everything that's going on in my room.
Yeah.
He knows I'm going to get the job done. I teach with the door open. I don't even close my door. Because you can hear me, I'm loud. Anybody can walk up in here. I don't care. I'm going to be teaching. I'm not wasting no learning time.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So he always checked up on me, and it made me feel, it empowered me. It made me feel like, man, you don't even got, I know you're a good teacher.
Yeah.
I already know it.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because this could take over. And that's the thing, when you're a good teacher, you get sucked dry because you're a good one. Yeah. And then it makes you exhausted. It makes you start hating what you love to do or what you're called to do.
Yeah.
Because you're doing too many things.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
So yeah, it's so powerful, man. That school environment is so powerful. Kids are at school 8 hours a day. If they're staying for aftercare stuff, you know, extracurricular is 10 hours a day. They're with you more than they're with their parents. So let it be enjoyable.
That's right.
I want to be there. I was supposed to leave at a certain time of the day. I was still at the school late. But we were just talking, you know, having a good time, right?
Yes.
You leave and the kids are like, don't go. That means that I'm doing something right. All right.
That's right.
And I just pray that, especially during this time, that like teachers focus on those parts, because it's easy to focus on what's not working.
Yeah.
But focus on what is working.
Yeah.
It's important.
We work too hard.
Teaching is one of the hardest professions. We make more decisions than surgeons.
Right? Come on.
Decisions than a surgeon.
Come on.
Right? So like we need to make sure that it's a space that like kids actually that you want to be in, and that kids want to be. And this is the thing. If it's not, then leave. Then
that
leave.
part. Period.
That's it. Go. You can do something else in education. I know many people that are still in education, not in the classroom. It's actually a lot of the time have a bigger impact.
Come on.
So like don't waste your time. Don't waste the kids' time. They know when you're not there for them, right? Yeah. And when your sizzle has burnt out, especially during this time, of course, tap into the good things, but just know when it's your time to go.
That's right.
And that's okay too.
That's right. My God. I don't know what else to say.
Just know that it wasn't always like this. This is my year 14 teaching.
Come on.
I've taught in New Orleans. I've taught in Virginia. I've taught in DC. And I've been in many different environments. But even now, like just saying no. Yeah. Right? Like, you want me to cover a class for 6 months? No.
Yeah.
I still got to do my low. And you want me to cover 2 classes for 6? That's no.
No.
Stop telling me it's what's best for children. Because what's best for me is what's best for children.
Come on.
How about that?
That's a word.
Seriously. A lot of people love to say that. Like, well, you're so good. Like, the kids need you. Yeah, but I'm letting you know that that's not, my cup runneth over. I actually cannot do that.
That's right.
I did it, right? I'm going to cover this person for 3 months. But how dare you ask me again for the next 3 months? That's not fair to me, right? And that took a while, because I am a yes person. I am a people pleaser, right? But I also know my worth now, and it takes time and experience. And I don't get me wrong. Sometimes I get down a rabbit hole. I'm not perfect. However, like I get to sit back and reflect and say, like, not right now. Sorry, not sorry. It's not what's best for me.
Yeah, and reel it in, and it takes that confidence of doing the work to know what you deserve. And it takes a level of confidence to be able to speak to it. Yeah. And not renege too. Because I used to be like, no, but I can't, it's like, no. Get the other options.
No is no. And that's it. Like, that's it. And it's fine. And it's okay. I'm a licensed teacher, I've been teaching a long time. If I'm teaching, I'm going to teach someplace else. However, right? Like, some kids are going to be served by me regardless, right? I want to stay in this community, yes. However, you're not going to dog me out and get mad when I say no, because I'm creating a boundary, because that's what's best for me.
Yeah.
And you get to do you. You get to do you. You got to take care of yourself. This work is hard. You got to. I get my massage every other month. My homework under my house.
Come on.
I take a trip very often. Right? Like, these are the things that fuel me. So when I show up, I'm going to show up and show out for people's children because it's my duty and I was called to do it.
Period.
That's it.
Period, sis.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
No, not today. I'm so mad I can't even go through the chat because it's on your end. I'm like, what are people saying? Okay.
I wish they let us save the chat. I truly do. I be trying to read it, but I know I miss so many dope comments. Thank you, everyone, for in.
Thank you so much.
You are a gem.
Oh, thank you so much. Listen, every day, one day at a time. One day at a time. Literally, my plate is full, but it's valuable things, right? Like, I'm benefiting. People are benefiting. Like, even my business, when I think about it, tutoring has allowed me to pay off debt. Tutoring has allowed me to.
Come on.
I didn't even pay for my car. I didn't even pay for my car. A parent paid for my car because they paid me to tutor their child, and I was able to pay my car note. And I'm able to travel because I tutor. So I knew what it was doing for me, and I wanted other tutors, right, to like have that experience, right? Like, teachers don't get paid enough. Teachers don't get paid enough. But there's many things that we can do to make additional income. And like BK Tutoring Sessions, that's what it's about, is getting teachers to come on a platform, right? Your job might be serving you, right? But during the pandemic, teaching wasn't fulfilling me. Tutoring was. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it was not.
Speak to it.
It was not. But tutoring was. Right. So now I have a platform where it's black and brown tutors that get like literally the plug. I get to introduce parents to tutors. And that's the true confidence, because parents are like, it's not even just about what the new skills that they're learning. It's literally they're getting confident in their own ability to show up at school and present. I mean, I've had kids say, my teacher called me up to the front of the room to show them how I did. Now that's when you can teach somebody else, that's when you know you've mastered something, right? You've mastered the content. So that's the main reason why I created BK Tutoring Sessions. I wanted parents and tutors and children to get all their needs met. Parents get a peace of mind, students get to get additional income, and students get to be confident in their own abilities. Because if I learned anything this year, kids want so much affirming now that they did not want before.
Yeah.
It's like, can I get it right? Can you look at my whiteboard? Can you show? It's like, you did it. I want you to keep practicing.
Yeah.
I want kids to affirm themselves, have their own confidence in their ability. I don't have to tell them they're getting it right. They feel that they're getting it right. And if it's wrong, that's where the true learning happens, because we get to do an error analysis and you get to check your own mistake.
Yeah.
Right. So like tutoring truly fueled me during the pandemic. And a lot of tutors on my platform are like, I'm able to do this now. I'm able to do this now. And it's a community. It lets parents know, like, you're not in it by yourself.
Yes.
You're not in it by yourself.
Incredible. Yeah, Kendall asked, how can a tutor or parent sign up? So give us the full plug so we know.
That's my best. She's something. Okay. So basically
we go back to we're all connected in one way or another. And this area is so small.
You know, my chat is like, I went to school with her. Oh, I used to teach her. Oh, I went to school with her. Right. So BK Tutoring Sessions is a platform. It's a website it's basically a dating website, but in a tutoring format. Right. Honestly, that's what it is, right? It allows parents to meet tutors that they might need or don't know where to start. You know, a lot of parents will go online and say, I need a tutor for my child in 7th grade, whatever. Right now, parents know, like, I have a website. Now, anytime there's a tutor, someone's tagging me in their post to let them know, like, here's a website with black and brown tutors. Because guess what? We don't only do athletics. That's another thing. Like, I'm from Brooklyn. I have a handful of black teachers, right? Here, we get a little spoiled, right? Because they think that this is normal, and it's not. So sometimes, right now, I have Ryan is paired with one of my Hampton alums. I went to Hampton, her son. And really, she was like, my son is struggling in math a little bit, but honestly, he just needs his confidence to be boosted. So I'm like, oh, no better person than Ryan. Because Ryan, right, is all about character development. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's very empowering. He wants kids. He literally teaches the whole child.
Yeah.
Right? So now her child is getting something from someone that he's never met in person. Right. He's literally more confident in his abilities. Yeah. Right? Ryan is getting his additional income, and the mom is at ease. Right. So that's really what it's about. BK Tutoring Sessions. You can go online, www.bktutoringsessions.com. You can sign up. It's literally on the top in the blue. It says tutor sign up. Guess what though? I don't take any of your money because I don't want anybody to take any of mine. Right? So if I charge $50, that's all my money. Whatever you want to charge, that's all your money. You literally pay a $20 membership every month to just keep your profile active. So most of the tutors on my site have at least 1 or 2 additional jobs. Honestly, that could be up to $800 to $1,000 additional income a month. Yeah, I've had tutors say I've taken my kids on a family vacation because I have this additional income. I was able to pay X amount of debt off because of this additional income. And parents feel secure in their kids getting help. Yeah, right. School, formal education is not enough right now. Kids are truly in crisis, not just mentally, but like just academically, right? Yeah. And we serve to be a coach and tutor to them. And 2 hours a week, it sounds like nothing, but it's powerful. Yeah. Right. So that's basically it. It's just a website to connect Black and brown tutors to students. Parents don't have to search far anymore. It's right there. Yeah. And tutors can sign up at any time. I love it. My mom's in the chat. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. It is a win-win. Okay, Bob, I know that's right. Come through for the baby. And I find comb through it, so a parent might reach out and tell me what their kid needs, and I know all my tutors. Yeah. Or I know of them. Like I've had virtual conversation, all that, right? So I'm like, this will be the best match. Yeah. Oh, you need a chemistry tutor? Well, I don't know chemistry, but I got somebody on my site that is a perfect match for you. Yeah. Come on, plug. She's the plug. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's been such a joy. Thank you so much. We have to do it again. You gotta come back. Thank you for all you're doing. Oh. I feel like a lot of this people think it's natural, like culture and engagement, and that's what Revolve Learning is about. It's actually, you actually have to plan it. You actually have to plan and collaborate and execute, right? It's not as simple as people think it is, right? Yeah. So like Revolve Learning is necessary and needed. And honestly, the schools that have the best data, 9 times out of 10 have the best culture. So thank you for everything that you're doing with your business and impacting our students. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, sis. All right. There's so many lives popping off now. I know it. But no, I thank you, sis, and I will see you soon. I'll see you soon. I appreciate you. Thank you. You guys have a blessed evening. Have a good one. Bye, sis. Bye.